this overwhelming feeling was like, oh my God, like I just have one body, I just have one life, like I want to spend it right, you know? It was such a like ceremonial production, and like these people are so talented and so cool and so experienced and humble, and knowing how rare this process is now, like not many people are firing kilns like this anymore. This is like not a standard practice. All of this work and then some was out here, and I was like, this is all gonna fit in these 2 boxes? Like how? So they were like jokingly calling the Anagama like the fine dining restaurant and the Groundhog the dive bar all week. So it's like much less temperamental. Loading's still important, you know, the way it's all stacked in there. They don't have a temperature gauge, and they're just like keeping it hot, hot, hot is like the method. It doesn't fire as long, it fires like 2 days less than the Anagama. People glaze work that goes in here. Everyone was talking about like flashing, which is like big pops of pigment and color that like minerals and salts cause on their pieces. So I know this one is like good for flashing. Watching my grandma when I was young, like I like very early identified, oh, that's someone that like I want to be like. I loved the way she did everything. I loved the way she like set the table and like talked to people and like made everyone feel so like warm and welcome. Really wanted to like model myself after her. I was like getting really clear this message of you're supposed to like move out of your loft in River Market and go live with your grandma. And so after the rest of my family left, day after Christmas, I like lingered and was like, Grandma, like, can I move in with you? And she just started like crying and was just like, yes, like please. And that's when I really started working in clay. Her basement is in part her ceramic studio and then my grandpa's archaeology studio. So I spent tons of time down there with her, and she'd throw these vases, these like big, like amazing vases that I'd then sculpt into like faces. And it was so cool, like just like the mutual like awe and admiration of one another, because she just like could not believe my work in return too. And like she's so humble and modest and like just won't even accept like, I mean, how amazing she is. And I tell her all the time, I'm like, I talk about you like this to all my friends. Like, everyone knows who you are. Like, please get that I feel this way, you know? I painted it right before I went to LA, and then I like felt it like right when I got back for sure, like even more than when I painted it. And it's just about the feeling of being pulled in multiple directions. At this point in my life, I really realized that it's up to me. I like felt like the pressure of time. Like I realized that like how I spend my time is actually like my greatest asset, and like the choices I make like matter, and that they're gonna send me down a whole trajectory. And I just, this overwhelming feeling was like, oh my God, like I just have one body, I just have one life, like I want to spend it right, you know? And so this painting, it's like, God, you know, she's being like choked out by her own choices straight up, and like she's got like a compass of tattoos on her body. And it was just such a wild position to be like, I'm in New Mexico and I'm choosing between staying here or going to New York or LA. It just felt like such a huge choice. This is painted fully leaning into my choice. And it's about like the fear of it, really. And so there's like clouds in it too, like, you know, covering her head and her heart. Thank God, like honestly, that I've been like cultivating like a writing practice in the last now year. I'm like hitting a year of like writing almost every morning. And that is like, yeah, it changed my life so much. I'm like able to like sort through things and process like decisions and emotions and situations in my writing. Yeah, it played a huge role in this choice. When I went up to Colorado just this last time and I was in Denver, I got this like big like wave of like, this used to be my home. Like I lived here for 2 years. And like, yeah, hell yeah, I'll turn left on Colfax GPS, you know? And it was like, I just realized that I'm collecting that feeling in so many places right now. And that's something I've always wanted. What's been so hard about the last few years and this season specifically has been like, I've been like, where's my home? Like, when do I get to go home? I think I'm like finding that in myself and like in so many places and in people. So I guess that's a lot of things for this painting to be about, but I remember deciding when I was young, like, that I wanted to have like a rich experience. And I didn't know exactly what that meant. Like, I knew, like, I think for a long time I thought the goal was happiness. And I've been in a season of the opposite. I've been like hurting for real. And even while I was in that, I was just like, feel all of this. This is what being human is. It's like loss and heartbreak and grief and anger. And from that, depth is always found, you know? Like, you always come out with like deepened perspective and greater appreciation for the happiness and joy that always follows. Spring always blooms again. Things always lift. Everything is constantly changing all the time, relentlessly. So yeah, you have to trust and be patient and like just recognize that it's like all a process and it's gonna be like a wild roller coaster life. And I wouldn't have it any other way. I was talking to this girl recently, which when she was in middle school, her teacher was going through like a nasty divorce, I guess. She like walked up to the blackboard and like drew a straight line all the way across the blackboard, and then below it like drew a wavy one and turned around to the class and was like, which life would you rather have? Which, like, whoa, lady. But like, I'd rather have the wavy line, of course, you know?